Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Everybody's muted. Okay. Um, Jim, I know you're on here, or at least I think you were logging on.
I'm here.
There you are. Okay. You want to go ahead and start with the poll?
Well, our Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day. We thank you for all the blessings you give us each and every day. Again, as always, we ask for your guidance and your wisdom with this upcoming meeting, and just give us the wisdom to make the right decisions. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died for the forgiveness of our sins. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Okay. If the clerk will please call the roll.
Squire Brewer, Squire Brewer,
You're muted, I believe, Tim. No, your audio's not working. It looks like his video's frozen. Can you hear us, Tim? Yeah, we can see you, Tim, just can't hear you. Well, now where'd it go? Yeah, I think he lost his connection. Okay, go ahead with the roll call. Oh, there's Tim again. Okay, do we still have everybody? Tim, are you able to get your audio working? No, we see you're talking, but we can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear us. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Tim, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Your audio is not working at all. Well, go ahead and call the roll. As we see Tim there, but we're going to have to see what's going on with his audio.
For
And
Mike Moody,
Present.
for Davidson,
Present.
for Troy,
here,
for Travis,
Here.
for Jerry Moody,
Here.
okay, it looks like all are present. Tim, there's something wrong with your audio. We cannot hear you. I don't know if you can hear us.
Do you want me to call Tim real quick and see if he can hear us?
Yeah.
Hey, Tim, we can't hear you at all.
Okay, then you don't want the meeting, I'll either join in or I won't.
Okay.
Ask him if he can hear us.
Can you hear us?
No, I can't hear you, nobody. I could when I first started, you heard your prayer and everything else back in here. Nothing after that.
Okay. Won't you try logging off and back on again if you haven't? But anyway,
All right.
we'll continue. Okay, thanks. He said he could not hear us or we could not hear him. He said he's going to log off and log back on. He said, go ahead with the meeting.
Okay. Let's give it just a minute and see. Brett, you're wanting to log on twice, or?
My what?
I thought I'd already admitted you, but it popped up again to admit you again. Did you?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm logged on twice.
Yeah. Okay.
No audio, though. No video.
Okay.
Just to see all frames.
I'm just going to give Tim just a minute here and see if we can get him back on. There he is. No, you're muted in some way.
How about now?
Oh, there we go. Now we got you.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay. All right. Officially, he's here for the roll call. So the first item of business will be the approval of the minutes of the prior court meeting, September 9th.
So moved, Jim.
Got a motion by Jim,
Second, Mike Moody.
Mike Moody seconded. Any corrections?
I believe
Jim.
we're approving the minutes from the September 21st meeting, not the September 9th meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, September 21st. I'm sorry. Apologize for that.
Yeah, that's the meeting that
Our agenda is wrong there. This is the September 21st minutes that we're approving. And Jim,
Yes.
your motion still stands. Mike, I assume your second still stands.
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Any corrections?
That's Jim, page 4. It's just
All right.
a misspelled word down in the last paragraph. Should be judge. It's got Jude, Jude. I don't know if that makes you a saint or anything, but
Possible, but we wouldn't want that to happen. We better get the.
no, we wouldn't. But anyway, that's all.
All right. Anybody else got anything? On the first page, item D, communications from judge. The next to the last line, it says that they mailed the check, but they never received it. We never received it. Should be we never received it. Just so that's clear. Any other corrections? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We're going to move on to communications from judge executive. Got just a couple of things that I'd like to mention. Bear with me just a second. Okay, just want to update everybody on the emergency radio rebate. We have contacted J&N. They have been in contact with Kenwood Radio about the rebate. That I've got a note on my calendar for this Wednesday if we have not received that to contact them. So we have not received it yet, but I will keep you all updated on that. Reminder that EMS has partnered with the North Central District Health Department for a drive-through free flu shot clinic. That's this Thursday, October 8th. Yes, this Thursday, October 8th. And that is from 2:30 until 6:30 in the Country Mart parking lot. The waste tire collection event is set for November 5th, 6th, and for a half a day on Saturday, the 7th. The State Transportation Districts opted not to host the event at their state road barn, so we will be hosting it at Spencer County Fairgrounds. You all have in your packet the proclamation that I signed with regard to Zoe Willis and Congenital Cataract Awareness Day. Just wanted you all to have that. No, there was an article in the paper about it. Federal land and water grant application, that's for the second phase of the ball field lighting project. It was presented to DLG, and the first report I got was that it was rejected, but it has not been. We're still in the running, and I understand that we scored very high. So I will keep you posted on that. That's all I've got. And we will move on to communications from citizens. Roy Legaspi. You're muted, Roy. Roy, you're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
My name is Roy Legaspi, and I'd like my words to be on the record, please. At the last fiscal court meeting, we had some consultants come in and made a very nice presentation with regards to what's needed in the county and a lot of repairs that are made to make the county more efficient. Although it was a very nice presentation, everything comes at a cost, and consultants are very expensive, an expense that this county really doesn't have the money to spend right now, even though at the last fiscal court meeting, the official tax report for the property bills has now exploded to $14,327,297. Even though the percentage of taxes are going down, the actual dollar value that is available to all county agencies is continuing to go up. So I just wanted to make that clear to all the fiscal court members that our dollars are going up in tax revenues, not down. In regards to the mention of having a meeting for the renovations of the courthouse building, yes, the state will form a group that will be a committee to look at the renovations of the courthouse. But what my mention and comments were made were in regard to the county efficiencies and the need for the county to look at all the buildings in all the areas of the county to look to see if we can make a decision to move the county offices out of the courthouse and consolidate all the county offices, which would include the county attorney and the jailer's office, possibly. What it would do is it would create more efficiencies, just like the state has requested that they have all of the state courthouse facilities moved into the courthouse so they would be more efficient. That was the reason I called for a committee, and it's still valid that we really need to look at efficiencies and look into the next century, not look backwards into where we've been. The county needs and requires a group of people that have vision that can look to the future. We are not looking to the future. We are looking backwards. We cannot take an old building and continue to keep county offices in there when actually it was designed for the courts, not the county. I thank you for my comments. I thank you for your comments.
All right. Anyone else wish to address the court this morning? Hearing none, we will move on. The first item under communications from other members and offices would be Julie, Planning and Zoning. Julie, you're up and you're muted. Unmute before you start. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have the first reading, so this one doesn't take any action. We have the application of
You're breaking up, Julie.
Oh. I have the application of the Barbara Whitehead Estate and Mary Frances Tyndall requesting Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 4 tracts totaling 7.63 acres located at 5894 Little Mount Road. Motion was made by Commissioner Clayton to recommend to rezone the application of Barbara Whitehead Estate and Mary Frances Tyndall, requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 4 tracts totaling 7.62 acres, conditional upon approval of a minor plat. The recommended land use map basis for findings of fact is it falls in with the mixed use and high density residential recommendation. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There was no one speaking against the zone change. Second by Commissioner Mudd. After a roll call vote, all was in favor, motion carried.
Can you tell me whose district is that in? Do you know?
I'm going to say it's Brett's.
Okay.
It's Little Mount Road.
All right.
Okay, and these are second readings. Petty, Carla, and Michael Schindler.
We're not hearing you, Julie.
Hold on a second.
All right.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I have the application of Sharon Petty, Carla, and Michael Schindler requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 2.10 acre tract shown as Tract 1 located at 5664 Little Mount Road. Motion was made by Commissioner Mudd to rezone the application of Sharon Petty, Carla, and Michael Schindler requesting the zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.10 acres shown as Tract 1 located at 5664 Little Mount Road, based on the following findings: that the recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends mixed use, so it would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and to their knowledge, there was no one online requesting to speak. Second by Commissioner Hunt, motion carried.
Whose district is that?
And Brett Beaverson.
I make a motion to approve based on the facts and findings of the planning and zoning.
We've got a motion.
Squire Brewer, second.
Square Brewer, second. Call the roll, please.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody.
Mike is muted.
Yes.
All right, that was a delayed yes, but it was a yes.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. All right,
Okay, next we have the application of Christopher Todd Martin and Laura Becker Martin requesting zone change from R1 residential to Ag 1 agricultural on 2 tracts consisting of 10.23 acres located at 58 Carl Monroe Road. Motion was made by Commissioner Fowl to recommend to rezone Christopher Todd Martin and Laura Becker Martin, requesting a zone change from R1 residential to Ag 1 agricultural on 2 tracts consisting of 10.23 acres located at Carl Monroe Road. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends low-density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. They are purchasing this extra tract and combining it all into one property. The property is currently being used for agricultural purposes. There was no one online to speak against it. Seconded by Teddy Knoll. Motion carried.
is that Jerry's district?
It's on Highway 44, Carl Monroe Road.
Could be
I
Mike.
believe.
Jerry, is that in your district?
Looks like it's District 4.
Yes, that'd be mine. Motion to approve recommendation of planning and zoning based on the facts and findings of the zoning board.
We've got a motion.
Second.
Squire Beaverson seconded. Call the roll, please.
Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson.
All right, and next,
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Okay, we have the application of Greg and Brenda Zinner requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.094 acres located at 1549 Yoder Tipton Road. Motion was made by Commissioner Mudd to recommend the zone change of Greg and Brenda Zinner, requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.094 acres located at 1549 Yoder Tipton Road. It meets the recommended land use of low-density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one online to speak. Second by Commissioner Fowl. Motion carried.
That's in District 5, right? Pretty sure.
Yes,
that it is. Yeah.
it is.
I motion to approve based on facts and findings of planning and zoning.
Got a motion,
I'll second it.
and that's Squire Brewer seconded. Call the roll, please.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley.
Yes. Okay, motion
Okay.
passes.
I have one more.
All right.
We have the estate of Doris Jean Goodlett requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 2.006 acres located at 3304 Love Lane. Motion was made by Commissioner Fowl to recommend to rezone the application of the estate of Doris Jean Goodlett, requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 2.006 acres located at 3304 Love Lane. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan, and there was no one to speak against it. Second by Commissioner Mudd. There was no additional discussion. Motion carried. That's District 4.
Motion to approve recommendation of planning and zoning based on the facts and findings of the planning and zoning board.
We've got a motion.
Second.
And Squire Brewer, or Squire Beaverson, I believe, seconded that.
Okay, there we go.
Call the roll, please.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Peterson,
Yes.
Squire Traving,
Yes.
Squire Travis.
Yes.
Could I get who made that motion and who seconded it? My computer froze up.
That was Jerry made the motion and Squire Beaverson seconded.
Okay, thank you.
And do you have any more?
That is all I have.
Okay, I'm gonna ask, boy, oh boy, I hate to ask you to do this, Julie. It's gonna be a little while before we get to it, but we have the PVA pictometry on the agenda under new business. Unfortunately, it is next to last before we approve our invoices. So if you've got something to occupy you for a little while, I'd like for you to be a part of that discussion.
Okay, you may see me log out and come back. For some reason, my computer keeps freezing,
Okay.
but I will.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Right now, I'd like to, and I should have done this earlier, just want to make a note that Doug Williams, the treasurer, is in my office in attendance of this meeting. That would be noted in the minutes. Next up is COVID update. I see Chris Lemp, and Chris, you are muted, so you'll need to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No major update on the COVID. We looks like our numbers staying steady, about 12 to 15 active cases at a time. Just continuing to follow with all the recommendations and encourage the citizens to do the same. Do want to remind everybody we are the emergency services are partnering with North Central Health District and Country Mart this Thursday, October 8th, for a flu vaccine clinic. It's a drive-through free flu shot clinic from 3:30 to 6:30 in the parking lot of Country Mart.
Okay, anybody have any questions of Chris? If not, we're going to move on to the safety committee report.
It's my understanding that we did have one incident this month. They were doing some work on the roads, and one of the tractors or one of the trucks, a limb fell on the roof of the truck, sort of smashed the roof of the window. Nobody was hurt. I'm not sure, Jerry, if you know any more about that. Has the vehicle been inspected for if it was totaled or not, or anything like that?
The truck is definitely totaled.
It is totaled. Okay.
I
That's all I have.
don't think officially from the insurance adjuster, but I think any reasonable person look at it would say it is totaled. So.
That's all I have.
Okay, we'll move on. Solid Waste Committee report.
Okay, this is Jim. We have a meeting tomorrow, Tuesday at 1 p.m. at the Taylorsville City Hall Annex. It will be a pre-bid meeting for any interested contractors that want to bid on the garbage collection contract coming up. And so that's all we have for that.
All right. Anybody have any
Would
questions?
recommend that anybody that wants more information, please be at that meeting.
All right. Was that a question or?
No, I just said that I recommend that anybody that would like more information
Oh,
try to
okay.
be at that meeting.
Okay. All right. Anything else for solid waste?
No.
Veterans Committee, Squire Brewer.
I have none at this time.
I think was Veterans Committee involved with the cemetery cleanup up in Little Mount?
We did, yeah. We had a few people up there this past weekend and had a pretty good turnout with other groups up there. Yes.
Squire Beaverson, I don't know if you participated in that, but as of Friday, they were still looking for some place to take the brush, the underbrush, to burn it. I think Representative Tipton took a lot of it, but they were looking for another place to.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, they can bring it over to my place if they want.
if you've got the number for Roy Bell by chance, or
No.
if not, give me a call. I'll give you his number and
Okay.
touch with him. All right. Anything else from Veterans Committee? If not, we'll move on to the Equipment Committee. I know we've got some other things on the agenda later on under new business, but Jerry?
I spent several hours with the road department last week on equipment. Nothing's been decided yet.
Okay. Anything else?
Could I ask a question about what happened to the truck where the limb fell on it?
We're waiting for the insurance adjuster to take a look at that, and
I'm talking about the
decide
incident
based on
itself.
whatever their salvage value is, whether we keep it or whether we just turn it over to the insurance company. So,
Jim, it was reported to me that they were following behind the work crew in the truck for traffic control, and they was probably 100 yards behind the work crew. The wind picked up, pushed the limb out of the tree, and it fell on the cab of the truck.
Okay, so they're just in a bad place at the wrong time, right?
Evidently.
yeah.
Okay. Was that in one of the international trucks?
No.
No.
Oh, that was the Chevy work truck that we purchased several years ago from the state.
Okay.
Judge, I do have a question about that. When something like that happens, should we be, and it could have been already done, I just don't know about it. Was there a police report done on that? I mean, should there be a police report done on that?
I asked for a police report to be done on that. I don't know if I see Scott on here. I don't know if he is aware.
I did. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did go out to the scene. I did take down all the information. I took pictures of it and everything, and I told the guys on scene. I said, talk to the judge. Let me know if they need an accident report. I can do one. If KCO doesn't need one, that's fine too. But I hadn't been told to go ahead and do one. Won't take me 10 minutes to do it. Probably it's just filling out a form. And like I said, I got all the information and did go see what happened. And I'll tell you the truth, if the truck had probably been about another foot further up, somebody could have got hurt. So it was just a freak accident. It really was.
Yeah.
So, but I did respond to the scene and take all the information down. And if you want a accident report, I'd be glad to do it.
Okay. And I asked for a report to be done that we can turn over to the insurance company.
Okay. Nobody ever
Yeah.
told me to go ahead and do it. But
I don't know if the report that Todd wrote up on it will suffice, or if we need an actual police report, but we'll let you know.
Just let me know. I mean, I can have it done by the end of the day. Just give me a yell.
Okay. All right. Anything else with the Equipment Committee? If not, we'll move to the Telecommunications Committee. Brett Beaverson.
As far as telecom goes, the county meeting room is in need of replacing the video equipment. So I'm in the process now of finding some interested companies and putting a bid together for that. Also, the county offices everyone knows they're in need of replacing the phone system. I have turned in a telecom bid to the judge, and maybe you can let folks know when that bid goes out or is advertised. Judge, any idea?
I don't know. You've been in communication with Brittany on that?
Correct.
Okay, did you?
Okay. It's at some point in the near future, the bid will be going out. It's been turned in to you and Brittany. So, that's it. We've got some interested folks that do want to bid, as well as some state price contracting. That's all I have.
Okay. If there's nothing, are there any other reports from other offices or committees? If not, we're going to move on to old business. The Jackson Drive ordinance, we've basically started from square one on that. So that this will be a first reading. And let me get that up here. Okay. Okay, this is a first reading to adopt Jackson Drive into the county road system. And we are eliminating, we are releasing the bond. Those other roads, there's two other roads in there, the main road going in, and I think Megan. Both of those were adopted back in 2014, and we're ready to go ahead and adopt Jackson, and there's no need to keep the bond. I've had engineers inspect that, as well as the road foreman. So we're ready to go ahead and have a first reading, and I'll need a motion to adopt the first reading.
This is Jim. I'll make the motion to adopt the first reading.
Okay, we've got a motion.
For second it.
And we've got a second. If there's no comments, call the roll, please.
Earl Brewer,
Yes.
or Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes, and we will get that re-advertised and ready for a second reading, which will likely be our first meeting in November. So next up is quotes on the copier. We had that up on the agenda last meeting for a used copier. We now have a quote for a new copier and the used refurbished copier. And I know the sheriff would be tickled to death either way. I think I mentioned the copier that we purchased in the office here was a refurbished copier, and it's doing a fantastic job. So, but it's just a matter of whether you guys want to purchase the sheriff a new copier or a used copier. And I think there's probably a couple thousand, maybe $2,000 or $3,000 difference.
This is Jim. I just have a question for Scott. Maybe you could answer that. I didn't see anywhere on the used or the new one any warranty. And if we go new, can we lease that machine? Because the old one says it was off lease. So evidently they lease these copiers. Maybe we could check in to see if what a lease would cost us.
Jim, I'll be honest with you, I haven't been involved that much in the copy machine. Brittany has been more involved in it, and I've more or less just let her handle it. Either way, I'll be happy. We definitely need one. So, whatever y'all see fit to do, will be satisfactory by me. But I really haven't been involved in that aspect of things too much.
Any other questions?
Judge, is there a way that, that question can be asked to Brittany if there's warranty with either one of them, or?
Yeah, see if we can get Brittany real quick. Hang on just a second. We'll see if I can grab her. On the copier, do you know, is there any kind of warranty? I don't.
We currently pay a maintenance agreement that would transfer over from the old copier to the new one.
Oh, it's a maintenance agreement that we currently have that would transfer from the old copier to the new or refurbished one, whichever we purchase.
I mean, if we purchase a new one, it would have to have some sort of warranty on it.
Yeah.
Not just a service agreement. I mean, anytime you purchase a piece of equipment like that, it's going to have some sort of probably a 3-year warranty.
Call them right
Yeah.
now and get clarification.
I can have her call now and see what the warranty is on a new one.
Okay, if she calls them, ask them about a lease on it, if we can lease it too, and just maybe we can come back
We're
later.
probably going to be better off to table this and bring it up at the next meeting if we're going to get into all that. But honestly, the used copier I think would be more than adequate. And yeah, Sheriff, what do you have a preference?
I really don't.
No preference.
I've said from the get-go that I don't have to have the best equipment. I just have to have reliable equipment. So if we could get a reliable used one, that works, I'm very satisfied with that.
I guess the other question, Judge, that I would have is if we did purchase a new one and it had a warranty, would we eliminate the service agreement until the warranty run out? Or is the service agreement connected with other items that we have? So.
Yeah, the service agreement covers multiple copiers.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. So frankly, I think we'd be just fine with the refurbished unit and save a couple, $2,000 or $3,000.
Well, this is Jim. Again, when you buy something used, you're usually getting somebody else's problems. Whether it's a vehicle or a lawnmower or whatever. Same goes with copiers, I suppose. So I would make a motion that we purchase the new copier for $45.60.
Second.
We've got a motion and we've got a second. It will have a warranty. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Call the roll, please.
Squire Mike Moody,
No.
Squire Beaverson,
Well, we're going to hear back from Brittany on the warranty.
Not for this meeting.
Oh, okay. I thought she was calling.
No, I think there will be a warranty on it. I just don't know the details of the warranty.
And we do have a service agreement already set up.
That's correct.
Okay. Have a service agreement already set up?
That's correct.
Yes.
Judge Riley,
I'm going to say no.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
No.
Cora Brewer.
Yes.
Motion fails.
Motion failed on a 3-3 tie vote. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and purchase the used copier for the sheriff's office.
I'll second.
And we've got a second. Again, I think that will be more than adequate for the sheriff's office. This is not I may be saying something I don't know anything about here, but I don't think that's a ultra high volume situation for a copier. So I think the used one will be adequate. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? If not, call the roll, please.
Cora Beaverson,
Yes.
Rich Riley,
Yes.
Cora Travis,
No.
Cora Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Cora Brewer,
Yes.
Cora Mike Moody.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get that ordered, Scott. Next up is the under new business sheriff vehicle purchase. And I'm gonna turn that over to Squire Jerry Moody.
Okay, so we got bids from 2 Ford dealers. Bill Collins the cheapest, and that is $34,860.96. We were requesting 4 of them. They'll be delivered sometime in December. They're scheduled to be built November the 4th. I think it's very important at this time to go ahead and get all 4 of the cars. And just from being in business, people don't understand that's not in business what is hard, extremely hard to get anything new. Right now, we got trailers that are built and can't get tires for them. It's spread all over every industry. And I think we would be a lot better off to go get it since we've got the money coming in to pay for it, to go ahead and get 4 of them. That is my recommendation.
Any other comments on that?
Where's the money going to be coming from?
That we've gotten quite a bit reimbursed on the CARES Act. So we can transfer.
Sell these vehicles that we're going to be surplusing.
If I understand, Judge, if I could interject it, if I
Yes, go
understand
ahead.
correctly, there was $157,000 that was the sheriff's, and I don't mean this the way it sounds, but the sheriff's share of that CARES Act money that we generated, our salaries. We've also got that $100,000 house we sold, which I've got many projects I'm wanting to do with a lot of that. We are selling numerous surplus vehicles. We're also selling 3 confiscated vehicles in the very near future. We probably have, and don't hold me to this, between motorcycles, cars, trucks, and stuff involved in drug cases, we probably have close to, I'd say, easily $100,000 to $150,000 worth of vehicles. Some of those vehicles will be awarded to us. Some of them will be used as plea bargains. So I can't give you a definite figure of this how much money we're going to get from these seized vehicles, because we would have a lot more money already in our coffers from seized vehicles and that type thing, but the COVID shut down court, and it has been a pain to get this stuff settled so we can move on. There was one drug case where there was a boat and truck involved. We wound up getting $8,000. They get the truck and boat back, so we are making progress, but it's very difficult to get these cases resolved nearly as fast as we'd like to generate that money. I've told y'all from the get-go, I hope to eventually keep everything running pretty well in the sheriff's office without a lot of help from y'all other than my salary cap. And I'm still working towards that goal. And of course, selling a house definitely helps towards that goal. These vehicles are very important. These 4 vehicles will put me in fantastic shape for the rest of my term into the next term of whoever's sheriff, whether it's me or someone else. And I'm probably going to keep one of the Chargers as a backup because you know how vehicles are. If you've got 8 or 10 of them, they're going to be going down. We will take the radios from the old vehicles out and siren boxes out and use them in these new vehicles. That'll help keep the cost down. Of course, then we'll still have to have some lights and graphics and the stuff, but that will help. So if we can buy the 4 vehicles with the CARES Act money, which I believe will cover this, then if between my sales of surplus vehicles and siege vehicles and the house sale, I think we can get them equipped and get them on the road. I hope to have them on the road by January 1. That's probably very wishful thinking, but that's what our goal would be. And then I would have the highest vehicle mileage vehicle I'd have would be in the mid 70,000 range. And that vehicle, well, it's my vehicle, the one I'm driving. I don't do a lot of patrolling. I do when I get the chance, but let's face it, that truck sits outside in the parking lot more than it's on the road. Because usually it's to my house and back to work, and some days I never leave the office until I go back home. So anyway, that vehicle will last me throughout my term easily. I appreciate everything y'all have done for me so far. I think we've got a problem. We've got the money to do the solution, and the stars and the moon have lined up to where we can buy four vehicles. I was in favor of buying used vehicles. That market has dried up for the simple fact is other agencies are having the same problem of getting vehicles as we are. I just got lucky when I called Bill Collins Ford and talked to Gary Barrymore. I said, "Are y'all going to have any this year?" He said, "Scott, last year when y'all ordered y'all's vehicle and we was having so much trouble getting them," he said, "we ordered 4 extra and no one spoke for them yet." And I told him, I said, "Put my name on them, tentative, that I can get it approved, with those vehicles." And we could do 2 now and 2 later, but the way things are going later, we might have a hard time getting the other 2, and I don't see the used market opening up. The gentleman in Chicago that Mr. Moody has talked with, he says, I don't see anything. I don't have anything that suits y'all's criteria. And he said, I don't really see in the near future getting anything. So that market is kind of dwindled away. So now we're back to the new market, and we have an unusual circumstance where we can get these 4 vehicles that there's probably going to be some other police agencies upset if we get all 4 of them, but we're going to try to do what we need to do. And like I said, we will be in fantastic shape. And I think when I first come in office, that was one of the big things that we've seen that we had such a problem with vehicles that need to be gotten off the road. We've done a fantastic job of surplusing vehicles and getting those vehicles rotated out. And if we can get these 4 new ones, I don't think we'll be doing anything with vehicles for a couple of years anyway.
Jerry Moody.
I'd like to buy the 4 cars underneath the government contract.
Is that in the form of a motion?
Yes.
We've
I
got
will second that.
And we've got a second. Who was that? Square Brewer?
Yeah.
Sounded just like you. So we've got a motion to go ahead and purchase 4 Explorers under the state contract price, which we would not be required to bid those.
Actually, this price is less than the state bid contract.
Well, we're going to buy it under the state contract price, and they may give us an additional discount. That's possible. We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I'd like to see that, at least I'd like to see our current inventory and get a reminder. I mean, there's been several purchases and there's nothing here to look at to see what the current inventory is with mileage.
Well, it may give you a little insight in that we voted, I think, at the last meeting to surplus, what was it, 4 sheriff's vehicles?
Yes.
And,
Well, one of those, I think we surplus 4, but one of my highest mileage truck, I plan to give to the jailer rather than sell it. That'll give him the used Explorer that you bought him. Plus, it'll give him a high mileage, but a truck that'll be good for him to use for several years. And then we're going to take the Crown Vic that he's currently got and surplus and sell it. So I think we're playing, we're moving things around a lot and getting rid of a lot of things. And I think we're headed in the right direction if we just
believe so. Any other questions, comments, concerns?
I would agree with Squire Brevis, and I would like to see an inventory with the mileage and stuff on that on the vehicles once this is all done and settled.
Okay, and
I know
I
know Gary Day normally does that, but I mean I'm sure somebody can write down the mileage and what vehicles and stuff are.
The gas receipts that Brittany sends out, it has the mileage on each vehicle. So you probably, if I assume she sends that out to y'all also.
We can get that updated.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well,
what Gary would normally
do, and everything on every vehicle.
What Gary would normally do would be to not only update the mileage, but also the condition and so forth. But we can get that updated for you. Any other discussion? If not, we're ready to call the roll on the motion. Go ahead and call the roll.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
No.
Squire Beaverson.
No.
Motion passes and we'll get those ordered. Okay.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate your help. It really means a lot.
All right. Next up is
Judge, this is Jim. Before we move on, I've got one comment I'd like to make.
All right.
I'd like to see Jerry, if he could, look into maybe purchasing a vehicle for the recycling center to replace the little flatbed truck. Karen uses that truck to transport those recycle trailers all over the county. And those trailers are pretty heavy, especially when they're loaded. And it's probably be a safety issue involved there. They're on the road all the time. That we need a flatbed truck for that. That would be the best piece of equipment, I think, for that. Probably a 3500, 4500 series truck, and with a flatbed on it. I'd like for him to look into that and see if we could maybe purchase a new one for the recycling center.
Sure, Jerry's making a note of that right now. So any other comments before we move on? Oh, go ahead, Jerry. I'm sorry.
I just asked Jerry if he would look into that.
No, I know, and I just said that he would make a note of that and look into it. And if we're ready to move on, I thought Jerry had commented, so that's why I held up. Next item is Animal Control Office. We've got 2 issues really to deal with there. Number one is that we have been accepting applications and interviewing a whole host of people that have applied for the animal control officer position. We do now have someone that I would like to recommend. We also need to go ahead and fill the director position, which we have not done yet. So the first item of business, I'm going to recommend that the court go ahead and hire Dane Reed Cassidy. That's Cassady, Dane, Dane, Reed, Reid, Cassidy, Cassady. He is a resident of Spencer County. He currently works at Salado Wildlife Facility up in Frankfurt for Fish and Wildlife. He, I believe he will make a good fit with Nick Wilkerson. And Nick is recommending him, I'm recommending him, and that would be at a pay rate of $14 an hour. He obviously is going to have to give a 2-week notice once we go ahead and make our decision. So it'll be a couple of weeks before we can get him on if we act on this today. The motion needs to be subject to background check and drug screen. And that's my recommendation.
For the assistant.
That would be for the animal control officer, and we'll take up Nick in another motion. Would anybody like to make that motion, or would you like me to make that motion? I'm making the recommendation.
Say his name again, please.
It is Dane, Dane, Reid, Reid, Cassidy, Cassady. Man lives over in Watkins Glen, so he is very close. Would like to, again, like to go ahead and get that position filled and get Nick some.
Motion to approve the judge's recommendation.
Was that a motion?
Of Dane Cassidy, yes.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion.
Tim Brewer, second it.
And we've got a second. Any discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Claire Travis,
Yes.
or Jerry Moody,
Yes.
or Brewer,
Yes.
or Mike Moody.
You're muted, Mike. Oh, there you are.
Sorry about that. I just had it muted to try to cut down on background noise. No.
Or Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay. The next item would be to promote Nick Wilkerson into the director position. And that would be effective immediately at a pay rate of $16.35. Nick has been doing an excellent job. So I think if any of you have talked to him, you would verify that. So
Make a
Motion
motion to move Nick into the animal control director's position.
we've got a motion,
Second.
and Squire Beaverson seconded that. Any discussion?
I will tell the rest of the court, if you haven't had a chance to go over and talk to Nick, you should do so. Very intelligent, very mature, probably one of the better people that I could think of to put in that position.
I couldn't agree more. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Or Jerry Moody,
Yes.
or Brewer,
Yes.
or Mike Moody,
No.
or Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
or Travis.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We'll go ahead and get that done. Next up, I'm going to turn it over to Esquire Beaverson for the employee pay scale issue, and that's in your packet.
Okay. I have on the cover sheet that this agenda item shows the wage scales with a couple of different sample of departments. If I may, Judge, I want to share my screen.
All right.
Host disabled. That's okay. What I did was I took all the employees and what they're currently making, and then put that into a pay scale. Now, I'm talking with the judge. There's some disagreement on whether this is even necessary. I saw it as a recruiting tool, as well as current employees who may be looking at other counties can kind of look and see that somewhere down the road, a couple of years or whatever, where they'll be compared to if they went to another county. As it is right now, there's not really any transparency when it comes to any type of time in service, and when it comes to raises. There is, like, for instance, with the road crew, everything that was in green, those are current employees. All those numbers in between, that's nothing but filling in the gaps. Those are arbitrary numbers, and any number could be put in there. We do have one employee whose base salary would be $19.09 at 18 years. They do have a Class B CDL, so you add 25 cents to that, and that brings them up to what they're making currently. When you get into with the EMTs, we end up taking the full-time and part-time EMT hourly, and then your advanced EMT hourly, and then your paramedic hourly rate, and the full-time rate and part-time rate, and ended up just making one big table. These do not have current employees highlighted in there, but we do have a scale that shows what everyone's time in service would be, and they are all plotted in this table. I just kind of want to see where and this is done actually for every employee that's not a deputy or not an elected official. So all the other positions, I have tables already in place for the current year. This could be something that is used for planning purposes for the next fiscal year. If the court chooses not to do it, to do anything like this, then that's fine. Maybe some of future court or future judge exec would be more on board with this type of transparency. So just looking for some feedback.
Who wants to be recognized first? Well, it doesn't look like it's a foot race. Squire Brewer, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Brett, I think this is a good idea. I think it gives people something that they can actually look at and look forward to. I don't know that we need to vote on it or anything like that, but I think it would be something good for the judge and the department heads to have in place, that they could show somebody, what they'd be coming in at, and if you stuck around for 5 years or 10 years, what you could possibly be making at that time. Appreciate your work on this.
Well, thank you. The more I thought about this, the more I just decided this is really executive work. It's not necessarily work that any magistrate needs to be putting together. And I guess I'll let the judge speak for himself, but whether he would want to move forward with anything like this. So I'll just turn it over to the judge.
Well, I'm not in favor of moving forward with this at this time. I've been an advocate for competitive pay rates for our employees. I think one problem is that we run into is what future courts do, or what will happen one vote to the next on fiscal court. we had an incentive plan in place, for example, for the road department. I don't think it was ever formally adopted by fiscal court, but fiscal court was going by it. That was scrapped probably one of the first meetings when I came in as judge. It was scrapped. And so what happened as a result is that the road department employees their pay rates began to lag way behind the market. And it took a significant amount of time for fiscal court. I think this court has done better probably than previous courts on recognizing the market forces in pay rates and understanding that if you don't pay competitive pay rates, that you're going to lose good employees. It costs far more to replace that employee and train them and so forth than it does just to give them a competitive pay rate, particularly you got good employees. So you don't want employees to leave. You want them to stick around. And to do that, you've got to give them not only competitive pay rates, but the proper equipment that they need to do their job properly, and a work environment that is conducive to them doing their best. So there's maybe a lot I don't understand necessarily. For example, when you look at the pay rate for road crew, if you're in the 18th year, for example, that's highlighted at 1909. But then in the 19th year, it goes to 19, and then 1905. Takes 3 years just to get.
No, that's okay. That's typo. I got distracted because I had to make some adjustments there. My apologies, because I needed to adjust everything after 19.
But we could put the most sophisticated pay rate schedule into our into action, and it could be the first meeting of the next court says, no, we can't afford that, we're going to scrap that. And again, it's just, and I appreciate this court recognizing
well, let me ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. Let me ask you, what could be produced from your office that gives our employees some type of transparency?
Nothing from my office. It's from fiscal court. I think employees have to understand that fiscal court does have their back, that fiscal court is going to do the absolute best that they can to keep their pay rates competitive with the market. This is what happened, for example, with EMS. And I don't, we could have adopted a pay scale chart, 3, 4, 5 years ago, but I don't think it would have anticipated the market changes with EMS employees, for example, what's happening in surrounding counties. But
you do realize that these tables have flexibility, and that if we discover that the market has gone up in a particular area, that particular table can have an adjustment, and it doesn't affect anybody else's. It would just be that particular employee.
Exactly, but it's all at the whim of fiscal court.
That part of it is okay.
Yeah. So anyway, no, I do appreciate your work on this, Brett. It's not that I just don't know that we're, as a court, there's some question of whether we can obligate a future court. I don't think we can.
No, it's not with this. No more obligation than we currently have.
Yeah.
Okay, this is more of a transparency tool or a recruiting tool. We have nothing that we can show a potential employee what they would be making in 5 years if they came in today and interviewed.
Right.
That would be a decision tool.
Right.
Of course, it can be changed. I would hope it would get changed in 5 years. That way, they wouldn't keep this this exact table. I also believe that we've got where you had admitted that there's a bit of lack of understanding of what the purpose would be on your part. And so with that, I'll leave it at that. And I think we could probably move on unless somebody else has anything else.
Anybody have anything else that they would like to to add? Or any questions? Would anybody like to make a motion? Evidently not, so if it's okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item unless there's something else that somebody would like to add. Or all right, we'll move on. Next item is the gutter and window quotes. We've got some quotes in there to repair or to replace some guttering over at the animal shelter slash maintenance shop slash recycle center barn.
Judge, I don't know about anybody else's packet, but I don't have the guttering information in my packet.
Should be 3 quotes. Hang on just a second. Let me get that up here.
My question is, does anybody else have the guttering information in their packet?
Yeah, this is Jim. I do.
Yes, it was in mine.
This is Jerry. I have it.
Okay.
Jim, on that enterprise quote, if you look back on the probably the third page,
It was
listed there.
yeah. Tim, I believe you got your packet. Maybe you were the first one, and I think that it was given to you in a separate thing because that was kind of shoved in at the last minute. So
I do have a copy of it. I'm just asking if anybody else had theirs in their packet.
yeah, no, yours was not in the packet because it was kind of shoved in at the last minute. So
okay,
yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I mean we can talk about both of these at the same time. As far as the windows, I think that Squire Brewer has maybe a recommendation.
Since there's only one, yeah.
We want to table that, I believe, till the next meeting. And
yeah, as far as the windows go, I would like to do that. Yes, the tabling of the windows.
Would you like to do the same thing on the gutters, or you want to go ahead and try to move forward on the gutters and take action on that?
Jim, did you want to do anything on that, or I mean, we do have 3 quotes on this.
Well, since you don't have all the information, why don't we just
No, I do have all the information on them. I was just asking to make sure that everybody else had it because it was not in my packet. She handed it to me separately.
Okay.
So we've got 3 quotes in there, I believe, for the replacing those gutters. It's something that we really need to get done and have those gutters drain into the storm drains. That will help a lot over there with water getting in, particularly to the recycling building.
Well, this is Jim. With Sexton Insulation had the lowest quote of $15.23. I make a motion we accept that price for the gutters. Gutters only, no windows.
Okay, let me take a look at that. I don't, I'm not familiar with Sexton. Jim, you may be.
I have. Yeah. Okay. They're a good company.
Good company. Okay. Well,
They've been in business
I'm
for,
sorry.
they've been in business for a long time.
Forgive me, Jim. Did you make a motion on that?
I did.
Okay, we've got a motion.
I will second it for discussion purposes.
And we've got a second, so we're going to be discussing this.
Under the Sexton quote, underneath up at the very top, it says license. It says none. They have to have a license to be able to do this. Or I mean that would have to be pending whether they had a license or not. I'm assuming this company does have a license. I mean, They're a well-respected company from what I understand.
Where is that located on there?
At the very top where it says Sexton Installation and Gutter, and then the next line says license number, none.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they've been in business for years, especially
Yes,
as
they have.
a company, and I used them in my business for years. So they evidently just got into the guttering business here in the last few years. But no, they're definitely an established business.
Yes, I understand.
The
And this
comment that
would be pending that they get a license to do business in Spencer County too. Is that correct, Jim?
Well, I suppose anybody that does work in Spencer County needs to get a license. Wouldn't you?
Okay. Yes.
That would be regardless of who got the bid.
Yes.
I think when I look at enterprise, and again, I don't know anything about any of these three companies, but they seem to have a lot more detail about what they're going to be doing. Maybe we can get that detail if we go ahead and select Sexton per your motion. Maybe we can get that detail on a contract before they start. I just don't want to. I wouldn't want to get, the job completed and say, well, I thought you were going to put it over on this side as well. And it wasn't in my quote, so it just didn't seem as detailed as some of the others, but I'm okay.
I would assume that what is our job as the maintenance man to ensure that they know what they're supposed to be doing. But I would agree with you. I would like to see it in writing too.
Yeah. Okay. So the motion is to go ahead and award this to Sexton Insulation, and that is for a total of $1,523. Any other discussion? If not, call the roll.
Barber,
Yes.
Gordon Moody,
Yes.
Barb Peterson,
Yes.
Rich Riley,
Yes.
Bart Travis,
Yes.
Bart Jerry Moody.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We'll get that taken care of. Next up is courthouse repairs. I'm going to turn that over to Lynn Hesselbrock.
Take a bathroom break, please.
I'm
A
sorry.
5-minute. May we take a bathroom break, please?
We certainly can. How about, will 4 minutes do it for everybody? We're going to take a break for 4 minutes. Okay, is everybody back and ready to go? I see Mike, I see Jim, I see Tim, and I see Brett. And Jerry, are you back with us?
Yes.
Okay, and Lynn, are you back?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll then, and we'll move on. I will make just a real brief mention that we splurged and bought about a $35 webcam for my computer, so I don't have to log on twice. I don't have to log on my computer, which had no camera, and my phone, which did have a camera. So appreciate the county going ahead and splurging the $35 to buy this camera and save me that issue. So we'll move on now with courthouse repairs. I've gotten a couple of emails from the county clerk about some repairs. One was the steps on the front of the courthouse. I've already addressed that in that Randy will be trying to plan a time. There's a small piece missing out of the very first step as you go up the stairs, and they do need to be painted and so forth, but he's going to have to do that over a weekend because they're going to need to be roped off and closed down. So we'll get that done. The other issues have to do with I guess an odor. It just depends on who you talk to, whether there is an odor, but I'll go ahead and turn that over to Lynn.
Thank you. Thanks for addressing the stair issue. They are very unsightly, and people have commented that they've tripped on that first step that has some concrete missing. As far as the odor, the courthouse itself, and more specifically, our office smells very strongly of a musty odor. We run a dehumidifier at all hours. I put a little bit of bleach into the container that the water accumulates in. The dehumidifier, however, does shut off when that container is full. It does not run continuously. And I actually got a call last night from the custodian saying that she was in the office cleaning, and there was a very strong musty smell as well. I know some remediation work was done in the crawl space / basement on this side of the courthouse. But I didn't know if any post remediation testing had been done. And I believe the people that Advanced Technologies, I believe is their name, I believe they suggested that post remediation testing be done to see if the efforts that were made to remediate the conditions, the favorable conditions for fungal growth, if they've been successful. So I was just wanting to reach out and see if anything had been done and seeing what can be done as far as the smell. The custodian said that she had allergies and she noticed it quite strongly when she came in the office last night to clean. And I was in the office over the weekend and had been running the dehumidifier the entire time that I was here. So apparently that's not working as well as we would like it to.
Any comments from anybody?
Lynn, this is Jim. Is the dehumidifier, is the container, excuse me, emptied every day when you leave or the last person leaves?
It's emptied several times throughout the day, and yes, when the last person leaves, and it's always off in the morning because it's full.
Okay. Do you have any idea how long it takes to fill that container up?
Maybe 4 or 5 hours. It's just a rough estimate. I haven't timed it, but.
Okay.
Yeah, about all we could do would be to try to go through the floor. There is no drain, so we could try to go through the floor and maybe run a hose, possibly through the crawl space down to the sump pump down in the basement. But you know, I can look into that, but there is no drain that we can run it to. We would have to, again, run a hose, I suppose, if that can be done.
Well, one of the recommendations, I don't want to misspeak, but I thought that they had recommended putting in an exhaust fan in the crawl space to maybe pull some of that moisture out of the crawl space, out into the air, the exterior air. I don't know if that would be helpful or not. It's just, you know, I think it's one of the things that they did suggest.
I don't think that's going to help anything with regard to the moisture. When you're pulling it out of somewhere, you're pulling it back in from somewhere. So it's the ambient humidity in the air. So we can have some testing done. We can, you know, it's up to the court. You want to, you know, having Bruce Ferguson come in is fairly expensive proposition to do. We can have some testing done. That's a fairly expensive thing to do. I can tell you there's no building in downtown that you can test that will be mold free. So if we want to get into all that, we can do that, but it's up to the court. I've had several people, and I will talk to Shannon about what she experienced over there this morning. She had not shared that with me yet, and had not noticed any strong musty smell before. So that might have been something that she just now noticed or was just paying attention to maybe.
My question is have we done everything that the last company that their recommendations, have we done all the recommendations that they, you know, thought needed to be done to remedy this? And if we haven't, there's no sense in getting additional testing done if we haven't done what they recommended to do.
Right. What we have done, most of it was just basically cleaning up that basement, getting rid of a bunch of things that were in there, and the exhaust system. What he was trying to do with the exhaust system is create a negative airflow rather than it be almost like a chimney effect, to reverse that and have it drawn into the crawl space and exhaust out. Have not, I think he's put a box fan down there to try to help mitigate that, but we have not installed any type of exhaust system to ventilate the entire building.
You know, it may be helpful also if we put a dehumidifier in that basement area and drain it into the sump pump and let it run continuously to take that moisture out of the basement. And that way there's no influx of new air.
Right. That can be done very easily.
And I suggest that we do that.
Okay. You know, the cost of that is not excessive, and it's something I can approve and get done. Just I'll have Randy go ahead and do that. You know, so yeah, we'll be happy to do that.
Judge, can we also go ahead with the dehumidifier that's in the clerk's office? Still run a drain hose down into the basement to the sump pump as well.
I'll have Randy investigate that and see what it's going to take to get that. Instead of going into a container that has to be emptied, let it go through a drain hose into the sump pump, so it's automatic.
It'll finally reach a point where they're not running continuously.
Yeah.
And I believe that on that dehumidifier upstairs, you can put a hose right on the container itself. Like you don't have to have another dehumidifier with just a hose only.
Correct.
Yeah, you just have to have a place for it to go to. So, all right. Well, we can go ahead and take care of that. Anything else? Okay, next up is county clerk claim for preparation of tax bills. That's in your packet. We currently pay 35 cents, I think, for that service. The state, it looks like, reimburses us for 15 cents, maybe.
The state reimburses 15 cents and the county reimburses my office 15 cents for a total of 30 cents per bill. That's what this is. We do this every year when tax bills go out.
Yeah, our actual cost is 35 cents versus 30. So.
Do we need a motion on that, or is that just information?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe we need a motion on that. Lynn, did you have anything else to add to that, or?
Oh, I just faxed it over to your office and it showed up on the agenda. No, this is just routine. This is what we do every year.
Okay. Next item is rural aid resolution. This is for Department of Transportation.
Judge, I got one question back on the tax thing.
Yeah.
For Lynn, Roy brought this up at the beginning of the meeting. The grand total of all districts, 14 million plus. Do you happen to know offhand what increase that is over last year?
No, I did not. These are all recorded, so it's recorded somewhere, but no, I didn't know, know that information.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so the Department of Rural and Municipal Aid is we are required to approve a resolution on that. It's very important to our road department to receive that aid, and would like your all's approval for me to sign this contract and approve the resolution?
I move that we'll give you permission to sign that contract.
And approve the resolution.
Correct.
We've got a motion.
Second.
We've got a second, Squire Beaverson. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Call the roll, please.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Squire Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer.
Yes.
Motion passes, and we will get that up to Frankfurt. Next up is the pictometry for the Property Valuation Administrator's Office. What that is, the PVA office opted, I think 3 years ago, to start using pictometry, which is a very sophisticated photography for their needs for property valuation. But it also has the attributes of a GIS mapping, has certain qualities that, as some of you know, I've advocated that we have a GIS system in the county. Most counties have that. We don't. We do and can rely on KIPTA to do some of our GIS mapping for certain issues. But so far, there are other offices that use this, primarily the Planning and Zoning Office. And I don't know if Julie, did Julie make it back on here? I don't see her. That's why I asked, let me, if you all want me to, I can call her and have her get back on to explain how she uses it, but she uses it almost daily for planning and zoning purposes. Other offices can use it. You know, I've used Google Maps is what I use. It's just, it's easier and because I'm used to it, but you know, it could be used by any office of fiscal court, but PVA office pays about $40,000 every 3 years for that programming, and they do a flyover photography, usually in the winter time when the leaves are off the trees. But she's, I know when she got that, she indicated that she would pay for it for a period of time, but not forever, but she would eventually be asking fiscal court to help pay for that. She submitted a proposal. It should be in your packet. And she's calling for fiscal court to pay $1,000 per quarter, $4,000 a year for a 3-year period. That would be a total of $12,000.
Julie's trying to get on right now.
I understand. I've been told Julie's trying to get on now. Let me see if.
I think you have to let her on.
Oh, I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. Julie should be there. Julie. She's connecting. Okay, and she is muted. Hi, Julie.
I'm back.
She's back. Can you explain to the court what you use pictometry for?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a very good tool for us. We have to send adjoining property owners on all zoning changes, all conditional use permits, variances, and things of that nature. So it helps us to look up the properties, get those neighbors to get the most accurate and, current addresses for them. That's one thing we use it for. It's very beneficial when people walk in off the street wanting to talk about their property and to discuss their property, that we can pull that up and look at it together, just to assist the customers a little bit better.
That's also got measuring tools and a lot of GIS mapping qualities. So the proposal is, and I would need a motion to go ahead and approve paying,
The property together with the violation.
oh, you're cutting out, Julie. I may have talked over you there.
It is something we use frequently.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of Julie about the pictometry?
I've been using it on a weekly basis at my zoning board meetings too. The zoning board members enjoy being able to see what's on those properties that they are zoning as well. I use that as part of my PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
I make a motion that we approve the $1,000 a quarter, $4,000 per year for the pictometry to give to the PVA.
Well, it sounds like a good motion to me. Anybody want to second that? It is a very useful tool. A lot of bumps on the log here. I'll go ahead and second it if nobody else is going to. I recommend that we do move forward with this. We've got a motion and a second. Anybody want to comment?
Is this for a three-year period?
This will be annually for 3 years, yes.
And I say that we need to add a line item to the planning and zoning budget to incorporate that into the budget as well. When the budget comes back around.
The PVA contribution.
We could create a new line item, which I would tend to agree with you, Squire Brewer, or we can take it from the PVA contribution line item, whichever
one. Just
yeah,
be able to track it.
At least as a separate line item, you would be able to see that easier as we go through the budget. So,
right.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
You are.
Is by the court, if you agree to do this, is that only so that I have the right to use it? Or is Kim going to leave it so that the sheriff's office, the EMS, the judge's office, whoever else wants to use it can? Because she held a training for everybody to be able to use it in the beginning. So everyone was given a login to be able to use it.
That's correct. And I'm glad you asked the question. I did talk to the PVA this morning. And yes, it would be anyone, if fiscal court is paying for this, it will not just be planning and zoning, but the sheriff or my office or the road department, anybody can use that. Whether they need that degree of detail or not is another question. But and for me, for example, I think it's just a matter of convenience. I already understood and knew Google Maps, and that had the information that I need, generally has the information I need. I just want to see generally where something is, but this is a very detailed and sophisticated photography, so you can see the actual property. And it also, they update the owner's name, as I recall. Julie, is that correct?
Right. That's what I benefit from a lot. And I use it when doing my addressing as well. But it does, it has the most up-to-date owners put in there as they get new deeds.
So this would be.
But the reason I asked that question was, if it's not just for my office's use, I don't know that you would want to specifically put it as a planning and zoning expenditure. I didn't know if that made a difference.
You didn't let me say what I was going to say. That was a very clever way of saying she didn't want that on her budget.
Primarily, it's planning and zoning, but there are other offices that will have access to it and can use it. So.
Yeah. Is this something that any of the county offices have been using in the past?
It should be. I mean, that's when we started using it, is Kim held a training and she gave login information to everybody. Originally, it was, any of the offices had the right to use it. And it's just now that a few years has passed, she wants, a contribution to use it.
Well, my opinion is that if she's been paying for that for the last several years, and everybody's been able to use it, it's a countywide thing. I just say let her continue taking that out of her budget.
Well, I can tell you that if fiscal court does not make a payment to the PVA office for our use of the pictometry program, we will not have any use of it. She will, she will not allow the county to continue using it for zero.
I agree. I mean, that's what I was told. If we don't make a contribution, she's going to turn our logins off.
I don't think it's a county responsibility to supplement the income on a state-run business or office. Look at your tax receipts, how much money the state gets, and then look at what's the county getting. And then they turn around and cut the rate on what they're going to pay us for rental of the court system and stuff. And it's just another way to throw more expense to the county.
Well, I agree with some of that, Jerry, and you've been going to some of the conferences like all of us, and you hear this from every county, is that the more and more the state is mandating cost to the county. But this is an inter-county issue. This is something that the PVA office purchases and uses. And if the county wants to continue using it, we're going to need to pay a portion of the expense of it, which is roughly $40,000 a year. So
I thought that was 40,000 every 3 years.
Excuse me, 40,000 every 3 years. I appreciate the correction there. 40,000 every 3 years, and we're going to pay 12,000 of the 40.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So does the county not using it affect how much the PVA is paying for that service?
No.
So she's not going to say cut us off.
If she pays for it without any contribution from fiscal court, she will be the exclusive user of that system. So
Yet it will save that office no money. Is that correct? They'll still be paying the same either way.
If we do not, no, it won't save them any money.
Okay.
She's asking us. We've had the benefit of it for 3 years for zero cost. Now she's asking, and she said this early on, in all fairness to her, when she first went to this, that she would not be able to pay for it continually. And their office is no different than ours or anybody else's. Their budgets get cut, and we have to use other means. So it would be taking a very valuable tool, and that's why I wanted Julie back on here so she could express to you the value that she and the PVA office, or not PVA, but the Planning and Zoning Office gets from this programming.
I have another question, Judge, for Julie.
Yeah.
What are your alternatives, Julie, to using this?
I would just have to walk over there to their office and use their paper maps and things instead of being able to do it here from my desk. I mean, as far as getting my adjoining property owners' names and things of that nature, that's how that would work. I wouldn't be able to use it in my zoning board meetings anymore. I wouldn't have that tool for doing my addressing anymore.
Okay.
I get.
Julie, I don't know if you're cutting out or not.
Did you hear any of that?
No.
I was just saying that as far as adjoining property owners, names and addresses and things of that nature, we would just have to walk to the PVA office
Oh, we did.
and look at their paper maps and get those. It would, the convenience of being able to look at those properties from an overhead view to discuss with neighbors or the property owners when they walked in, we would lose that ability. I have done some addressing with it where I didn't have to drive halfway across the county to do an address. I wouldn't have that because it has measuring tools on it to where you can measure online.
It's the next best thing to us having our GIS mapping system up and running in place, but we don't. So this kind of is the next best thing.
Well, could the county take that service over totally at $40,000 for 3 years and then bill the PVA for their share of it? It's the same difference.
I don't think so. I mean, what it is she has a plane fly over on a regular basis and do photos. That, and that's what that is we're looking at photography that's been done from an airplane that keeps it up to date. I mean, the latest one we've got is from March. Before all we had were paper maps.
I understand that. It seems like that the PVA is just.
She's not asking for the county to contribute the whole 40,000, is she?
No, she's micromanaging the budget to try to get more revenue into her budget.
Well, it's I think she doesn't necessarily see it that way. It's the fact that she is providing the service and has been at no cost, allowing the county to use it. It has been beneficial to the county. Now she's just simply asking the county to help with the cost since we do benefit from it.
This will probably open up the door for a lot of other things like this that will happen, especially I would like to see us, the county, look at the city of Taylorsville for contribution for planning and zoning and that they're not putting in right now.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't think that's what we're discussing here. This is
I'm just saying that's what's going to become of this.
Yeah, it could might very well. Yeah. Okay, so we do have a motion and a second to. I'm sorry, Squire Brewer. Did you have something, or were you just swatting flies in there?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and call the roll on the motion.
Squire Beaverson,
No.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
No.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody.
No.
Motion fails.
What was the vote on that? Was that a 3-3?
It was.
Motion fails. I'll just say this. I'm not sure that we really want to do this as a fiscal court because we're going to really put planning and zoning significantly behind where they are. So I encourage you to talk to Julie. I encourage you to talk to Kim Stump, the PVA. And, if you, I don't know that we really want to take that tool away from Julie. So for $12,000 or $4,000 a year for that service, I think that's a very valuable tool for planning and zoning. So
Well,
anyway,
Judge,
fails, and we'll move on.
Judge,
Yes.
That price can always be negotiated.
Well, I assume that somebody with fiscal court will negotiate something better with Kim Stump, the PVA. So
Maybe the
Okay.
electric.
I'm sorry?
Oh, never mind. It was a snarky remark.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Next up is EMS emergency generators, the FEMA grant. We were finally awarded that grant. It's a FEMA mitigation grant to install emergency generator, backup generators on the EMS building facility. So let's see, I'm trying to think what action I actually need fiscal court to take on this, other than to authorize me as a county judge to move forward with this. Will have to be spec'd out and bid. I don't know that, I don't think they have any documents that I need to have authorization to sign yet, but I'm sure that will be forthcoming because it is a FEMA project. So if the court would move to authorize me to move forward with this project, would appreciate it.
So moved.
We've got a motion.
I'll second it.
And we've got a second. Any discussion, comments, concerns? Call the roll, please.
Yes,
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Go ahead, Jim.
that total amount is 29,448. Is the motion to allow you to go enter into that at that amount? What if the bids come up a lot higher?
No, I believe you're mistaken. The approved amount was 39,264 with a federal share of 29,448.
Okay, what if the bids come in considerably higher than the 39,000?
We will have to deal with that when those bids come in.
Okay.
We may, like Spears Drive, I know we went back and asked for additional funding because it ran a little higher than what we anticipated. But if we bid this and they come in at, say, 49,000, then we'll have to go back to FEMA and see about either amending it or.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other comments? Call the roll, please.
Joe Truly,
Yes.
Ward Travis,
Yes.
Ward Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Ward Brewer,
Yes.
Ward Mike Moody,
Yes.
Ward Beaverson,
Yes.
Motion passes, and the next up is review and approval of expenditures, purchases, invoices, and transfers. We are going to have to add a couple of transfers, and Doug is going to spell out those transfers, and we will give this to the county clerk in writing for the minutes.
We need to add we bought the sheriff cars approved by them. $130,000 worth of transfers to cover the heavy bill right purchase order. So I'm recommending transferring 93,000 to the sheriff's new vehicle line to from the Spears Drive project, and then also 37,000 to the new vehicle line from workers' comp now. And we can, after we sell these other vehicles and do a budget amendment, we'll put money back into the workers' comp and so forth.
So we'll get those line item numbers to the clerk.
If not, we're going to be able to write a purchase order for the sheriff to get his vehicles.
Yeah, if we don't approve these transfers, we would not be able to write the purchase order for the vehicles. So those transfers would be included in this. So do I have a motion?
So move, Jim.
We've got a motion to review and approve the expenditures, purchases, invoices, and transfers with the additional transfers as was just spelled out by the treasurer. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Squire Beaverson, second. Any comments, questions, or concerns? If not, call the roll, please.
Or Travis,
Yes.
or Gary Moody,
Yes.
or Brewer,
Yes.
or Mike Moody,
Yes.
or Peterson,
Yes.
or Riley.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else before we adjourn that needs to come before the court this morning?
Could I just make a real quick comment that
You sure can. Go
if
ahead.
anyone would like to obtain or request a mail-in ballot, they need to do so by October 9th. Early voting starts October 13th at the old vocational rehab building and at the fire station in Elk Creek. And they have different hours. So if you know anyone and want to pass this information on, that would be great.
All right, any other business to come before the court this morning? If not,
Motion to
I will
adjourn.
entertain them. I'm sorry,
Jim, motion to adjourn.
we've got a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
And Squire Brewer seconded that. All those in favor say aye.
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 All right.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you all.